I killed. Grub Terra, my chicks dig it. Use the code T-HAND at checkout to unlock 10% savings on all Grub Terra products. Hey everybody, T-Ham141 Homestead here. All right. I've got some housekeeping to do here. The weatherman lied. They said that it was going to get in the mid 70s today, and my my high was 97. I'm in upstate New York, for goodness sake. Hey, Mahilin, how's it going? Welcome. I just added, I don't know if Nightbot has come in yet, but let's see. Weather space 13303. Let's see if that'll do it. Let's see if that'll do it. Let's see if that'll do it. Yes, weather for Ava. Conditions are sunny. Temperature of 88. It's 88 right now. So now you can type in weather and then your zip code, and Nightbot will tell you what you're feeling. Tell everybody else what you're feeling. Try it for Canada. I don't know what zip codes are in Canada. I know they're a little different. But so yeah, we did that. That was a thing. It has been a busy week, guys. I have not sent out the black fly soldier larvae. 98. Wow. 98 degrees. That's not fair. That's a body temp. Hi, wine cellar. Welcome, welcome. That's your body, 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, my word, my word. Yeah, guys. Let's see if this works. Yes. Yes, it does work for Canada. Woohoo! It is so stinking hot. Hot, hot, hot. Yeah, hey, quiet listener, how's it going? Tonight, guys, I want to let you know we're going to be talking about why there is such a big influx of homesteaders, people, this big interest in becoming more self-sufficient. Has anything changed? No. Well, we'll get into that in a few minutes. Guys, remember, if you go to grubterra.com and order any of their thing, hey, good afternoon, quiet listener. If you go to GrubTerra and purchase anything, there's a link below. And use the code at checkout, T-HAND, you will get a 10% discount, and I'll get a kickback. And they're awfully good for your chickens. I have not mailed out. I have 2 parcels. I have got to go to the main post. It's funny because I've been to my post office like 2 or 3 times. The window is never open, and I have to have them weigh them and everything like that, all that good stuff. my post office, the window, by time I get there, because I like to do stuff in the morning. This is my morning routine. Let's see. Yeah. I wake up around 7, get out of bed around 9, head off to work around 11, sipping a drink and feeling fine. No, I get out of bed 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm supposed to be doing exercises, yoga, walking, whatever. I'm supposed to be concentrating on burning calories during that time, because I am doing this, still doing the intermittent fasting, cheating all the time. So it's not really working anymore. Because I cheat too much. But so I took, hey, Suzanne Goulet, how's it going? And Sarah, hold the line. But then I'll sit down on the computer. I'll go through my emails. I will check out my YouTube page. I will check out all my different money-making endeavors and find out how much money I am not making by being online. And then around 9 a.m., I can have my first cup of coffee. I'll have a cup of coffee or two while I'm doing some stuff on still online. And then I go outside for a little bit. I'd like to say I give it my all, but I don't, because it's just been too hot the last few days. And then with the holiday weekends coming around. And yeah, that's my day. I come in around 1 or 2 o'clock to hydrate, get something to eat before 3 or 5. If I eat my last thing before 5, Suzanne, you weren't here. Type in weather and then your zip code, weather space and your zip code, and Nightbot will post your weather. Like right now it's 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius here. Yeah, I'm trying to get all these things. Actually, Just Doing Our Best was on Woman in the Woods live stream today, and they had that. And big shout out to Just Doing Our Best for she emailed me the code. Well, it doesn't give your exact location. It gives your area code is all it is, but that's fine. That's fine. I can understand that. I can understand that. I try not to give my exact location. There have been a few times. I have a P.O. box, and that P.O. box address is well known, so people already know my zip code. For Nepan, 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Whew. I got to tell you, I got a fan on. Off-grid homesteader here. Ran the air conditioning today. It was bright and it was sunny. And I ran the air conditioner for 3 or 4 hours just to keep it cool in here. It still got up to, it's 88. What is it in here right now? Yeah, I'm reading 89 inside and 87 outside. So here, as soon as I get off the live, I'll have to, once I get off the live, I'll have to start opening windows and get my fans in the windows. Canadian Family Life, welcome. Hey guys, why don't we go ahead and jump right in? Why do you think there is such an influx of homesteaders, of people starting this journey that we all love by calling it homesteading? Now, homesteading was originally a phrase marked by the Homesteading Act. Alaska, I believe, was the last one in the 80s. They got rid of their Homesteading Act. where you could go and claim a piece of land that had not previously been claimed by someone. And if you could live there for 5 years, they would give it to you. You type weather, then a space, and then your zip code. You can look right before like Canadian Family Life weather. Then they're in Canada apparently. Canadian E4L 1V7, and then right below it gave for Midjik for the town. Oh, on your channel. I can't type the it won't let me type the command code in the description, but if you send me an email and ask me for it to than141@hotmail.com, let me put that up here. But if you send me an email, if I can find it, and just ask for the Nightbot code for weather, I will forward Just Doing Our Best's email to me to you, and that way you will have it. Because it won't let me type it in. So yeah, why do you guys think that so many people are starting to get in on this homesteading life? Now, homesteading is defined. It is a lifestyle of self-sufficiency marked by agriculture, and could owning animals. Owning animals, I don't think is in there, but it's marked by agriculture, and it's and it could make, they call them textiles, mercantiles, making stuff at home for home use or for sale. So that's what homesteading is today. But the Homestead Act was really cool. I wish I would have been alive during that time, because you could go into these areas that the Homestead Act opened up, and you could claim 40 acres, 60 acres. I forget what it was. Different places probably had different things. The problem is you ended up in the Dust Bowl a lot. You know, you ended up out there, and if you didn't pick the right spot, you know, the North America can be a vicious climate. Hey, Lynn, how's it going? Welcome. Supply issues plus GMOs. Those are great reasons to start growing your own food and learning to be more self-sufficient. Okay, me being a Christian, I've read the back of the book, and I know we win, but I also know that times are going to get really, really tough. And I don't know how tough it's going to get before Christians are raptured out. And so my wife and I are like, man, times are going to get hard. When we started homesteading, we were thinking about a time such as today, okay, where times are tight. And it is that time. Self-preservation of food, okay. What? Oh, Oh, Nightbot caught me on something. The alias does not exist. Hold on. Okay. I get up around 7, get out of bed around 9. Come on, Nightbot, open up now. Commands, custom. Edit. I don't have an edit on that one. Oh, okay. I know it's not in my commands. That is in my timers. The weather, edit, get rid of the alias. Boom. There we go. Okay, anyway, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. 83 degrees. A cold front came in, and the extreme heat of most of June. Nice. Nice, JMB. Yes, a true Christian is raptured out right before the tribulation. What is a true Christian? A true Christian is someone who believes in Christ, really believes in Christ. There are a lot of people who claim to, but they don't. The last 7 years, you won't want to be here. Satan rules the last 7 years, takes control, 3.5 years into the tribulation. Yes, absolutely. And times are going to get hard. The first 3.5 years is going to be peace and love and joy. And then when the Antichrist really comes into his own, it's going to get really hard. I was just trying to grow healthier food. Yes. People are realizing that you have 9 and 10-year-old girls with breasts, large breasts. People are realizing you're getting 9 and 10-year-old boys with breasts, large breasts. I don't mean to laugh at that, but guys, there is so much estrogen in our food with all the soy and stuff. You have no control. Okay, I don't want to get into all of the crazy stuff that I believe is going on with our food supply. However, I will say that we don't know what they are doing, what they can do. We don't know if what they're telling us they're doing is what they're doing. So the only way you can really be sure that your food is healthy is by growing it, harvesting it, foraging it, hunting it, fishing it. It is crazy. I literally watched a YouTube short today that showed how to start a fire with an apple. How to start a fire with an apple. Guys, if you can start your fire with an apple, that's not an apple. Well, it is, but it's covered in wax. What they did was they took their knife and they scraped the wax off the apple. Then they took an old Bic lighter that was broken, had no fuel in it, and they just they scraped a lot of the flint off the wheel and put that in the middle of all that wax they scraped off the apple. And then they used the spark to start that flint up, the flint shavings up, which in turn made a little candle for the wax. And guys, the reason they're putting wax on them is to keep them looking good while they're shipping them from South America or Guatemala. Guatemala's in South America. Anyway, they're shipping our food from so many other places. I think it's called the 10-minute rule. Within 10 minutes of harvesting a vegetable, it has lost many, I forget the precise amount that it's lost of its nutrients. If you pick a bean, this is freaky to me. If you pick a green bean out of your garden and eat it right there, I love doing that. My beans aren't ready yet, and I've got to. I want to do a supplemental planting, succession planting of green beans. But then, if you take a green bean, bring it in the house, and later that evening you walk by the colander like I always used to do. When Wendy because she'd rinse them off and leave them in the colander to dry or whatever while she was getting ready, she'd can them the next day or whatever. And I'm getting like, I think it's 60 or 70% of more from the green bean in the garden than I am from the green bean in the colander. 2 years ago in Texas, they ended up with the snow. They could start that on fire. They could start the snow on fire. That's insane. That's insane. Because I love water. Water is the proof that God has a sense of humor. For the simple reason, you take, what is water? H2O. 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen atoms. If you take the H2 atoms, you have hydrogen gas. Very, very flammable. If you take the O2 or O atom or molecule, it is very, very flammable. You put them together, it makes water to put fires out. Is God awesome or what? Let me get this banner off of here, this secondary banner here. The 10-minute rule is why I am okay with purchasing frozen vegetables. Yes. However, how many of those vegetables make it from the field to being frozen to stop that loss within 10 minutes? You still probably get quite a bit. But yeah, and so it's health. Our health is what is what that kind of boils down to. We want to be healthier. We want to make sure of our diets for ourselves and our family. I am off grid. I'm off grid. The reason Wendy and I decided to start looking for an off grid place is there was a place called Ambit Energy in New York. Ambit Energy was awesome. You called in every year and they would give you a discount, a big, deep discount. And I was paying pennies compared to what I was paying on National Grid. Then one year I forgot to call in and we had a winter worth of months where we were paying well over $200. I think the highest we paid was $250 something a month for electricity. I said, why am I paying these people for electricity? No, not everybody can go off grid, and that's okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can't get them canned within 10 minutes after picking. We homestead. Yes, we homestead because we don't like people. Oh, guys, I'm an evangelist. Believe it or not, I know. I want everyone to feel comfortable on my channel. However, I am, and I don't like people. When I came back from the war, crowds drive me nuts. The 3rd of July. Hey, Darren. The 3rd of July, I went to my daughter's house They have a big the Foot Family Farm. If you haven't, go ahead and after the live stream, go ahead and go to my video on the Foot Family Farm tour. My grandkids, they've got goats now. I don't know if they had them back then, but they've got a horse. They've got 60 head of cows. I mean, it's a pretty big operation. But there were so many people there that I kept myself busy taking care of the 2-year-old, and that boy would not keep his britches on, while the older kids, my 16-year-old, my 12-year-old, and my 7-year-old went to Word of Life summer camp for the week. Kelly took that opportunity to potty train the 2-year-old, and that worked great, except now you can't keep britches on the kid. And we taught him how to potty. Now we just need to teach him where. Let's see here. The New York State DEC thinks snow becomes flammable on March 16th every year. I could never figure out why we need a berm ban with 4 feet of snow on the ground. They started early mostly because of southern New York. When you get down below the Thruway, Binghamton area, and all that, it dries out a lot sooner, a lot earlier in the year than it does up here where we are. So yeah, and God bless Canada. We don't want the wildfires down here too. In fact, if anybody wants to update me on how the wildfires are going, that would be wonderful. By the way, I know everybody's hot and miserable, but if you want to know exactly how hot and miserable you are, I just added a new thing. Type weather, WEATHER, space, and your zip code. United States, Canada, doesn't matter, in the thing, and it will tell you how hot, how much you're suffering. Marilyn, I homestead because it takes something to do compost for me and eat the garden scrap. Yeah. There is a cycle. Think about it. What's the first thing? If you till an area for a garden and you leave it for 3 weeks, what happens to that tilled area? You have to till it again because you got weeds growing. Nature, the way God set up nature, is set up so that it wants to cover that. Okay, well, think of out west where it is just, you're driving along the highway and all you can see is cornfields and bean fields for miles and miles and miles. And think of all that uncovered earth for that period of time before the sprouts get up there. All that goodness is drying out and blowing away. Introvert here. It was a big reason. I love my home in the country. Always worked full-time in town, so don't think I qualify as a homesteader. Really? Are you trying to be a little bit more self-sufficient? Are you do you have chickens, animals of any kind, a garden, a small garden? I know people who homestead in an apartment. In fact, she might come in here tonight. But yeah, being a homesteader, it's more of a lifestyle than it is an actual set of, you do this, 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 and this, so you're this. It's a mindset. Yes, I have 2 neurodivergent children. in a veteran hubby who really hates crowds. Yeah. Yep. Crowds are the worst. Even when they're family and friends. And I had to explain to my grandkids why Papa leaves when he sees the truck full of fireworks going out into the field. And, you know, the younger one didn't understand. The 7-year-old didn't really understand it all that much. But yeah. Wendy used to be there, and she'd tell me, honey, if you want to stay, we'll stay, and you can squeeze my hand as tight as you want. And you know, she understood, you know, she was my shield. Yep, a little warm here. Our pool is now at 86 degrees. Oh, wow. That's a sauna. If I leave it like that, ants will do a castle of it. Yeah. Yeah, the ants will come up and do all sorts of stuff. What? Weather are conditions. Oh, somebody typed what? Oh. Or light rain when the temperatures. Oh. Who did that? Who typed weather last? Because you got some nice weather. Weather for R. Oh, that's got to be my timer or something is weird. I hope it gets down to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. J&B, we both work full time in town. My boyfriend and I, we are weekend homesteaders, but animals need food and water. Yeah, there's no such thing as a weekend homesteader. You're homesteading. You just work harder at it than we do because you guys have a job. Marie-Lynn works a job. Remy works a job. Very few of us can actually are blessed enough that we can work on the homestead full time. And I used, for me, the term work very, very loosely. Okay, I'll see you, Lynn. Hens, garden, rescue animals, wood stove was only heat, no AC, but always had to buy too much at the grocery store and electric bill. Hey, your first 4 actually make you qualify you as a homesteader. And I'm off grid, and I was running just from the sun and my batteries. I was running. Now I can only run a few hours when the sun's high in the sky. I was running my air conditioner today. It doesn't take a lot off because it's not a big air conditioner, but I'm only in a 32 by 32 foot house. Let's see. Bylin. Can't wait to stop working though. Yes. Little home. You are some busy folks. Well, maybe I was part-time homesteader. I don't know. But yeah, the isolation part of it, because I know when times get hard, and if you're living in a proper town or an urban area, please do not take this wrong. Because I do have people. I have a woman, I forget her name. Oh, wow. Vacuum seal and fit. Freezer camp has begun on Thorhaven Farm. All right. But she is in Brooklyn and living in a Jayco. She is off the grid in Brooklyn. because she can't afford $5,000 for a month for an apartment. Why would you? Hey, Melissa. Yeah, why would you? What Vera? I think oh man, I can't think of her name. There's a young lady that is in an apartment in an urban area, homesteading. She is doing the best she can. She has potted plants. Um uh and on her balcony, and she preserves and all that. Apparently I was homesteading and was completely oblivious that I was until Cindy Squirrel Off Grid told me that I was. Cindy Squirrel Off Grid, she's awesome, ain't she? Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea I was homesteading. Wendy and I moved to Penn Yan, New York. And I worked at Burkett Mills, and we were in an apartment, a small 1-bedroom apartment. It was more like a hallway with squares that were slightly larger. And oh yay. And we asked the landlord if back behind the parking lot if we could put a garden. And we did. We put a small garden in it. And we would go to farmers markets, and Wendy would can up the food. We had a big, huge bookshelf, beautiful bookshelf in one of the hallways. And yes, Vay's Place, that's it. And we had that full of canned food that Wendy would can. Yeah, urban steading. Yeah. And sometimes it's a necessity to be in an urban area, and that's okay. And I got to be careful because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to alienate anybody from my channel. And I do have a playlist on apartment homesteading because I did that. Then Wendy and I moved back to Port Leyden, and we bought 2/3 of an acre in Port Leyden that I still own today and rent out. And we had a beautiful garden there. Then we got chickens. Then we got bees. And it was wonderful. And we just didn't have the room to continue on. So we've covered health. We want to know where our food comes from. We want to know what's in it. I can pronounce everything in my pig feed. I can call up the Lowville Farmers Co-op right now and ask them for a list of ingredients, and they will send me one, or have Trevor pick it up. Oh, wow. Wow. June 22nd. Whoo. But yeah, and so there's the health aspect of what is in the food. If I'm making the food or growing the food, foraging the food, harvesting the food in some way, then I know what's in it. Then we covered the isolation aspect. There are isolation aspects. Now, not all homesteads have to be isolated from people. I had neighbors move in just down the road. I love them to death. In fact, it was funny. My guinea hen and the chickens all started going nuts the other day. And I'm like, uh-oh, sounds like a hawk, or I've been having something try to get in the chicken coop. So I grabbed the shotgun and stepped outside, and boom, there was Tiny. And Tiny, yes, it's a what do you call it? Not an acronym. It's a sarcasmic name. Sarcasm. He's a Saint Bernard puppy. but he's like 3 feet tall. I mean, he's huge, lovable as all get out. And my chickens were reacting to him being in the yard. And as soon as I got outside, the boys came around the corner, and so I set the shotgun down because I didn't need it. It was tiny. And they're like, "We're sorry. We're so sorry." And I'm like, "It's no big deal. Dogs get loose on you once in a while." And they were on it, man. But talk about freaky, because they had just called me the other day and said, "Hey, yeah, there was a bear in our driveway." Now, Tiny is brown and white. I'm not going to mistake him for a bear. But it was freaky to see something so big coming around the corner. I was not expecting that. But he is a great dog, and welcome here anytime. Yeah, heated greenhouse. Yeah, a permanent one. I'm thinking about eventually I want to build a front porch, because my house is south facing. We planned it that way from the get-go. And eventually I want to build a porch, and I think I'm going to use that clear, what is it? Carbonate or whatever, the clear sheet metal plastic stuff. And make my front porch into a greenhouse. And that way, it's not going to cave in on me. I know if I build it, I can't build it so that it'll cave in on me, because Trevor would never let me hear the end of it. But yeah, so there's the isolation part, which, guys, you need community. I have discovered that in the last 2 years since I've been doing YouTube. I have discovered, yes, you want the isolation, but you need community also. Because the community I found online, all you guys, all these people in the chat are my friends. Okay. And everybody's like, "Oh, they're online friends." Well, no, I've met them now. I met a bunch of them at the Homestead conference. Woo-hoo! I met a bunch of them, but the encouragement and the information that we get, we send pictures back and forth. "Hey, you know what kind of plant this is?" And "Hey, check out my squash." And, "Oh man, squash bugs got all my squash." Well, that's okay. There's next year, "Hey, James, I'm just stopping it by to say have a great day and weekend." Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, James. But yeah, and the way the world is going. Let's see. My community is mostly online, but I have community. Yeah. I've got the guy, my neighbors that own the land behind me. If we need to, we can shut this road down. And just survive us together, It's one of those things that we can come to one another's aid. Community is important. Oh, cute little lamb, a month old. Nice. I wish we could post pictures in chats and stuff. That would be so cool. So we've got the isolation, the health aspect of it. And part of it is people are seeing what's going on in the world. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, independent, conservative, liberal. I don't care all that. Okay. JFK was a Democrat, and I really associate with his views on things. Okay. I have a friend that I got my solar panels from, actually, that who is a Democrat, and he has his reasons for that. And you know what? I don't agree with everything he says, and we go back and forth on Facebook and stuff every once in a while. But you know what? That's okay. He has a right to believe the way he wants to. It's called the First Amendment, man. And and you know, but we can all see the signs of a declining civilization within the United States of America. And within several of the North American countries. Our people within the country are being polarized. We are being turned on each other. Because people today just, a lot of them just don't understand that you have a right to your opinion. I have a right to mine. Just because you don't agree with mine doesn't mean I hate you or that you hate me. I'm going to have to take that one off. Let me delete that timer. There. There, that won't come up again. Yeah, there is so much negative in the world. And if you look back at the at fallen civilizations, you have the citizenry turns on itself. Morality, they lose all track of morality. It becomes an anything goes proposition. Me proposition. Patriotism goes to the wayside. And so we're watching our societies die. My reasons for, hey, Chakota, Chakota Carver, welcome. My reasons for becoming self-sufficient is to stop eating Babylon's food and raise my own meat. Absolutely. Absolutely. The health reasons, whether it's health or control, they are now able to, and some would say are, putting the mRNA shots, vaccines, whatever, into beef and pork that may be able to be transmitted. I'm using YouTube language here. May or may not, do your own research, be able to be transmitted to the eater. So I raise all my own pork and I buy my beef from now on. Well, from a while back on, from either my daughter, which is black and red Angus beef, or my sister-in-law who has Highlanders. And we all know that's some good meat. Yeah, when you remove the creator, something else takes place. Yes. And the morality is going downhill. And I'm conflicted myself with my isolationist tendencies. Okay. I'm a hermit, but I'm conflicted about it because I'm told to go into all the world sharing the gospel with every creature, and so the isolation, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me, but I love it to a point. This holiday weekend, I was very, very glad that I had family around. I spent time with Wendy's family. They were camping at my sister-in-law's farm, and they have a nice pond. The kids swim and all that good stuff. And then Sunday I had church and then spent the afternoon with my mom. And then the third, I had time with my daughter and her family. And it was awesome. I was glad to be around people. And when I did start feeling there were there's too big of a crowd. I just concentrated on my grandbaby and trying to keep his britches on. He's 2 years old and he was just potty trained. So we've got him where he'll pull his britches down. We just got to tell him where it's appropriate to aim. Yeah, staying healthy is a form of resistance. There is so much that I can't say because we're on YouTube. But homesteading, no matter what side of whatever political spectrum you're on, homesteading is a way to be true to yourself and your family. Homesteading, being self-sufficient, is a way to be responsible. It is a way to help others. I know already my garden, God willing, is going to yield more than I'll be able to eat in a year. More than I will eat in a year. Because I'm single now. I'm on a different type of diet than I was when Wendy was there. I'm a hermit and I love going in the woods and seeing all the beauty, taking kids to the creek to swim, going for walks, bike rides, looking at wildflowers and critters. Absolutely 100%. There's something about being connected to the soil, being connected to the vegetation. Okay. I know this is going to sound kind of corny. I am not, I'm not New Ageist or anything, but I am connected to every tree in the immediate vicinity of the cleared area of the homestead, about 3 acres. Okay. I am connected to those. Why? I see them every day. I know my chaga, I call it my chaga tree. It's got a big old chunk of chaga on it that I have to figure out when it's proper and how to preserve that. My hands are in the dirt of the garden and the wood chips when I'm weeding and weeding and weeding. I need to weed more often, and then I wouldn't have to weed as much. Medicine, guy. We back to health. Yeah. I would still encourage you to find a Bible believing body that of believers to encourage you and that you can encourage, so that you can use your spiritual gifts and be blessed by theirs. But yes, yeah, and I try not to get too preachy because, like I said, I want everyone to feel welcome on my channel. I'm not, if somebody shuts me off because all you do is talk about Jesus, if somebody won't watch my channel because of that, then they'll never hear me say anything. So I try to keep it a little bit low key. Without being ashamed or hiding the fact that I'm a Christian. How do you like your TYM tractor? I'm thinking of getting one shuttle shift. I love it. It's actually one of the last Bransons. It's a 2515H. They do have the 2515R, which is shuttle shift. I love it. When I weed the garden, I've got a milk crate that I sit on, poor milk crate, and I have a 5-gallon bucket. I fill that 5-gallon bucket with weeds, and then I have the bucket of the tractor right at the fence of the garden, and I fill that up with, I think it takes 7 or 8 5-gallon buckets of weeds, and then I can go dump it. It gives me a break where I'm not walking or can't. Whereas before I had the tractor, I would either use the trailer for the four-wheeler, or I would have to walk every 5-gallon bucket to the compost pile. And composting this new, my baby Branson, I call it. It's not a baby Branson. It's a Troy-built lawnmower with a bagger on it. But it is making my composting of so much easier. I am going to have, because all my grass clippings go in the compost. Yes, exactly. It's hard to go to town. Thousands of people compared to where, yeah. I am not comfortable in the cities. Because of my time in Desert Storm and the military, I have hypervigilance. If there's something going on around me, I have this insane need to know what it is. At church, I sit towards the back, which is actually moved up. They used to have chairs in the back of the church. Pastor sat there just for me and Wendy because he knew I had problems with people being behind me. But now Jeannie and Willie sit behind me, so I have no problems with that whatsoever. But if I hear a door open, I have to look back. I try not to be gawky, like, oh, how dare you come in late? But I have to know. And when you get a whole bunch of people going on, different conversations, different movements, kids start screaming and all that other stuff, it drives my hypersensitivity and my hypervigilance right crazy. You're talking gardening, connecting to the earth. That's getting close to the creator and his son. Absolutely. 100%. Think about this. Oh, I will film it, JMB. I will film it when I figure out how to harvest the chaga. Think about this. When God created man, he put them in a garden. Why? Because he wanted to walk and talk with man. He wanted a relationship with us. So he put us in a garden, right? And also when it says after the fall, when Adam and Eve sinned, it says that the Lord was which I believe was Jesus. Every time in human history that God interacts with man, it's in the person of Jesus. But as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, looking for Adam, God likes to walk in the garden, y'all. Now, it's maybe a slightly different garden. I would love to see his fruits because, woo. But then, where did Jesus spend a lot of his time? The Garden of Gethsemane. God likes gardens, y'all. And yeah, I do feel closer. Hey, Wendy Benjamin, how's it going? I have not sent out the mealworms yet. I have not been to the big post office where I need to go, and my post office window is never open when I get there. I apologize for the delay. I think you were one of the winners. But yeah. So people are flocking to homesteading because they see the world is going nuts. Not only with morality going down, people have lost their ever-loving minds. How do you rationalize looting, shoplifting? There are shorts and videos on YouTube all over the place of people coming out of Walmart and stores with carts full of groceries that they didn't pay for. Nobody doing anything. how do you rationalize taking someone's stuff? Because they're a rich corporation. No, that's getting into politics. Anyway. But there are stores that are closing down all over the United States, and I would imagine Canada as well, because they're taking such a loss. The world is getting crazy when you can. The people who we're burning down buildings in our towns. We're attacking the mom and pop stores who can barely make it as it is. Yeah, I want to be isolated from that and those people that do that. I really do. Here on my 20 acres, the United States Constitution as written, as a simple mind like mine can understand, stands. Do not need someone with a Harvard or a Ivy League education telling me what that document says, what it means. It's plain and simple. How does the beginning of the Declaration of Independence go? We the people unite. All men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Read on, my friend. And that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. What did the founding fathers believe the government's job was? To keep you safe? Oh, no. To keep you free. You keep me free, I can keep me safe. You keep me free, I can keep my family safe. Yeah, absolutely. And I did start getting political. I'm sorry, guys, but these are some of the reasons. There are political reasons behind homesteading, guys. You know what? When it gets too expensive to buy propane, I'll start cooking on my wood stove. Oh, but Tracy, you live in New York. What happens when they outlaw wood stoves? Yes, I'm going to say it. I will not comply. It's that simple. What happens, Tracy? They're talking. The UN is moving. I was watching Appalachia Homestead. I love her homesteading videos, her farm videos, her animal videos, her cobbler videos. Oh man, that made me hungry. But it's a shame that she has to be so political now. But somebody has to warn about the stuff going on. And it does fit into this topic because this is reasons people are beginning to homestead. This is the reason people are flocking to this lifestyle of self-reliance, because we cannot trust where our food and medicine and even our money is coming from. But she's saying that the UN is doing something where in an emergency, they can come in to the United States even and have all sorts of power here in the United States. Guys, I pray to God I never see a blue helmet on American soil, because that would be... No, I'm not going to go there. That would be bad. We don't want that. And that's my opinion. And if you have a different opinion, that's fine. Praise God, you have a mind of your own. That's awesome. But yeah, guys, people are flocking to homesteading, the independence, the freedom. When I lived in Port Leyden, I paid about $120 on a winter month. This is running wood furnace it was a wood furnace and an oil furnace for supplemental heat. In an old house, our electric bill was like $120, $150 a month. And this is back 7-8 years ago. Now I had an initial investment for my solar system, but that's been paid off. I'm sure it's paid for itself. Hey, Rebecca, touched by yarn. Welcome, Rebecca. And it's so I no longer have to pay an electric bill. Now, when these batteries run out in 8 years, 10 years, whatever, when these solar panels that I bought used need to be replaced, I want to get more solar panels, actually. It's going to cost me a little more, but that $120 a month can now be put into groceries or whatever I need with prices rising, gas, whatever. The people want their kids to learn right and wrong. Some of them have moral objections to things that our country is doing. I have a lot of moral objections to some of the stuff, to a lot of the stuff our country is doing, but that's not the main reason, because quite honestly, I try to avoid it because I don't want it to affect me. It doesn't have to affect me. I can run home back here to the homestead and have all sorts of peace and quiet right here. I have. I also want to let you guys know I do get a little more political on my Facebook page, and I discuss things with people who have other beliefs than me, and other and some downright horrible viewpoints on life. Let's see if it cooled down any here. Oh, I'm reading 90 in. I'm going to open this window because I'm reading 90 in, 83 out. Whew, 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 whew. And I have family members that I discuss things with, and I there are times when I can get kind of political on my Facebook page, but please forgive me and know that even though I might get a little forceful, there's a story behind a lot of it. Some of the people I have been discussing things with for years, and sometimes it just gets really tiring to keep talking about saying the same things over and over. 81 degrees now. Whew. I am sweating. Hey, you know what? I haven't hit my like button. Guys, also, I haven't said this in a while. Up here is my sticker board. And if you send me your sticker, I will put it on the sticker board. You have my THAM141homestead.com off the grid in the 21st century. You have Thorhaven Farm, who is trying to curl on me because of the heat and the humidity. You have Back to Basics Homestead, that's Annie. You have Rem's Family Farm. You have Bucket List Homestead, which is Lynn. Handsteaders Live Free, that's if you subscribe to my channel, a membership on my channel, or subscribe to my blog at THAM141homestead.com. You will have access to the Handsteaders members only Facebook page. Rebecca Touched by Yarn, just doing our best. Old Man King Homestead. I saw Peter in here a little while ago. Barb's Country Home and Rambling with the Brooms. And I try to mention these every live. I don't always, but I try to. Send me your sticker. I'll put it up here on the sticker wall, and we'll just throw that anywhere. We will expand the sticker wall if we need to. My wife went to the store last and bought groceries for 3 people, $415 for 1 week. Wow. I have a budget of $450 a month. That's what Wendy and I had. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'll be able to actually, cut that down to like 300 or 200 or whatever, and put that money somewhere else. And it didn't happen. Prices went up. Last week, I was waiting on test results. I want to share the great news that all 4 biopsies were benign. Lots of negative stuff around. Here's some good news. Absolutely 100%. Congratulations. I need to get a clapping. Anytime someone defeats cancer, beats cancer, goes in remission, doesn't have cancer, what my pastor would call spiritual heartburn, where somebody goes to the emergency room with a heart attack and they say, what? And so people start praying, and then the doctor say, well, your tests all came back negative. There's nothing wrong. We can't find anything wrong. Well, that's spiritual heartburn. But that is awesome. That is so wonderful that everything was benign. I lost my wife in 2021, December of 2021, to adenocarcinoma. It's a colon cancer. By time they caught it, it was stage 4. It was in her liver. It had spread to her lungs. We were able to get 18 months more with her, which was a blessing. I praise God for it. The faith that she showed me during that time humbles me. But yeah, it is awesome that they're benign. And that's another thing. When I was growing up, you might know somebody who heard about somebody that might have cancer. Nowadays, everybody knows everyone. Everybody knows 1, 2, or 3 people that have cancer. It's ridiculous. Oh, thank you. Thank you. She was so courageous. I couldn't imagine homesteading without her. And it has changed. My homesteading has changed a lot. She was the wind beneath my wings when it came to the homesteading stuff. But her faith, when the doctor, she went to the hospital because she was retaining fluid. What happened was her liver was just so riddled with cancer that it wasn't processing fluids, and she was retaining fluids. And when the doctor came in and said, Wendy, we think you need to go home with hospice, and she says, I want to fight. And he says, we can keep you on the chemo, until you leave the hospital. But after that, we can't give you any chemo. And she was so very, very strong. One of the kids from youth group said, Tracy, I have a question for Wendy, but I don't know how to ask it. And she was texting me. And he said, well, ask me. And if I think she'll handle it, then I'll ask her. And she said, is Wendy afraid of dying? And so I asked Wendy, I said, Wendy, Sophie would like to know if you're afraid of dying. And without missing a beat, Wendy's like, nope, I know where I'm going. I'm going to go be with Jesus and my family and friends that have gone before, that knew him. And just as matter of factly, no, I'm going to be with Jesus. And she was facing death. This is when she was in the hospital that last time. Yes, sugar is horrible for you. Sugar is very, very bad for you. However, I can't stay away from sugar. I drink a lot of water. Tonight, I needed a pick-me-up. And this is about 1 cup of coffee. 80 calories isn't all that bad. Oh, man. She was. Everybody that knew Wendy. I can't think of anybody that did not like Wendy. This has a lot of high fructose corn syrup, which is very bad for you. It's not just sugar, it's processed sugar. And anytime you process something, you make it worse. But yeah, so whatever reasons we have for homesteading, whatever your reasons are, whatever level of homesteading you are on, whether you're in an apartment, whether you're on less than an acre, whether you're on 20 acres, whether you're on 1,000 acres, we all have in common the fact that, whether you, the fact that we are we're going against everything that society wants us to do. They want us to fall in line. We have a true freedom. We are giving ourselves and our families options. Now, is this going to shield us from everything the world wants to and is going to do? No. But it's a start. Can I feed myself out of my garden all year round? No. But it's a start. Guys, I am blessed with the people who subscribe to my channel. I am blessed with you guys, my friends. And yeah, we're just online friends, but that is still friends. We share these values of wanting to be more self-sufficient. So true. A balcony, a backyard, or community garden can make a huge difference. Most people won't be able to move to the country. Yeah. Remy, which he lives kind of in the country, but from Rem's Family Farm, he just put out a video where he was going through the community garden that he's a part of. And he has a row and his mom has a row. I think they're 150-foot rows, he said. And, it's whatever you can do. If you can go to a farmer's market, or if you can go to Costco, I don't know if Costco does vegetables, but buy a bushel of tomatoes and bring them home and can them. You're one up, you know. You're one up on the person who doesn't have that. And if something happens to the tomato harvest that year in Papua New Guinea or wherever, then you still got tomato. You can still make pizza. Learning to make your own cheese. I need to do that soon. This from a guy who I need to harvest my rhubarb. But yeah, I think there are many reasons for people flocking to this homesteading lifestyle. And the one thing that I think we all share in common is the knowledge that things are going to get bad. I'm going to make a video for tomorrow. I haven't made it yet. I was supposed to make it today. Didn't happen. It was too hot. On what is the difference between homesteading and prepping, because they're very similar. Yeah, cooperative food stores. Down here in Rome, New York, we have farmers markets. The Mennonites, oh my goodness, roadside stands. You don't have to go very far from the heavily populated areas to find a farm stand, unless you're in Manhattan or something. Yes, that I will not drink Monster. This is a Kickstart. There's some other stuff on the Monster cans that I don't like. But yeah, you know, I was, what was it? Years ago, it came out that the Johnson & Johnson CEO was a practicing Satanist or something like that. Tractor Supply is a semi-current issue right now. I came to the conclusion that Tractor Supply sometimes has stuff I need. Now, if I can get it at Runnings, if I have the extra to get it at Runnings that I have not seen that does endorse the stuff that Tractor Supply has endorsed, then I will. But if I have to buy something from Tractor Supply, I will, because I need to live. I am not endorsing the things that the company is endorsing when in my opinion, when I purchase fence posts from Tractor Supply, I am not endorsing trans book reading at schools or libraries. I am endorsing keeping my chickens in and pigs in where they're supposed to be. That's what I'm endorsing. And it's a shame what they do with their money. But once I give it to them, in my opinion, it's their money. God bless you too, Fuller. Check out how to garden like a Viking. Make lactobacillus for your soil and farm cheese at the same time. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. How to garden like a Viking. And they did. Vikings did garden. I know a Viking right now, Darren from Thorhaven Farm. He is Viking in every sense of the word. And they did garden in a very, very harsh climate. God bless you, Fuller. Switch the banners up here, but anyway, so yeah, there is no one reason that people are flocking to this, but for the most part, I think people are seeing the craziness in the world, the unsustainability of the life that is the lifestyles that are being created by the globalists. We are literally supporting our enemies. Our government, I don't care who they are, has agendas, selfish agendas. I love Ted Cruz to death. He has his own agenda. Okay. And his own reasons for his agenda. Now, I agree with a lot of his agenda, but I think people are seeing the handwriting on the wall that things are going to get bad. And they're trying to buffer out. Now, when was the best time to start homesteading? Or when is the best time to start homesteading? Right now. Yesterday. As soon as you can. A lifestyle of self-sufficiency marked with agriculturalism, personal animals, which isn't totally a necessity, and making, I think they call it mercantile or textile products for home use or for sale at home. Rebecca from Rebecca Touched by Yarn, she does that. So yeah, continue on. Homestead on, man. Homestead on. It ain't easy. Part of mine was I was going to die on my couch. I still might. But in front of the TV, I was going to die on my couch in front of the TV. And so I have to trick myself into working. I'm not going to let my animals go without food and water. I'm not going to let them go without. I'm not going to let me go without heat in the winter. Got to get up, cut that wood, man. Cut that wood. Get it put in and stacked. All right, y'all. I'm going to let you go. But just think about this. Think about your reasons for homesteading, whether it's to be closer to the land, closer to God, to be more self-sufficient, to be more isolated, to prepare for hard times. Remember why you first started homesteading, and you know, you might have veered away from it a little bit. Never too late to get back on track. All right, y'all. I'm gonna play my commercial as I head out. Y'all have a great day. And God bless. Y'all, T-Ham141 here. I'm Tracy. Welcome to the live stream tonight. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just let you know I've got merch. I've got all sorts of cool designs on shirts and like 60 or 70 different products over at Redbubble. I'll put the link up here. And I've got books. If you go to thand141homestead.com, you will find each and every one of my books. I sell. They are Amazon quality. They are printed on Amazon KDP. A big shout out to all my friends in the homesteading community. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button, that subscribe button, and that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I come out with a new piece of content. And don't be afraid to comment and let me know what you would like to see on my channel. All right, guys, it's about that time. Let's get into the live.